we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means, on infiltration instead of invasion, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
All right, welcome to episode 161 of the Abuse Hour. It is I, your host, Coffee Long, coming to you unsupervised, unmedicated, and an unchecked threat to society. It is the back-to-back ball break on the road edition. Yeah, buddy, on them streets. I'm up in them streets. That bitch, she like me. She China wife me. I said, ho, I'm married to these streets. Anyway, enough of that African bullshit. Yeah, man, I am driving out to do a little work, and I had a chance after putting out, a very cut rate and rudimentary mid-workout 2 cents edition. Now I had a little bit of a chance this morning to listen to a little more of what's going on in the world and get some ideas together, put something together while I'm driving along, and also too, you know what's great is this keeps me from falling asleep. So like if you're driving, you're going to work or something now, maybe you don't go to sleep, or at least you're not dragging ass when you get there. You can be a little bent out of shape or fired up or whatever. But it keeps me from falling asleep too, because this is boring as fuck, man. I got like another 2 hours or so to go. And I don't know that, like by myself, Han Solo, my voice ain't going to last 2 hours. But I'll put a little something together. Put a little something, a little taste, a little refreshment, a little midweek to do. And everything is everything. So, I don't know, man. I guess straight away, I'll tell you, like, in the Telegram version, and as well on YouTube, you will notice probably, if you're listening to this on Spotify, I don't know what to say. All you get is the logo. You get the common logo. If you listen on, if you go to the channel on Telegram or on YouTube, I do like a little thumbnail, like a little picture with the title of the episode. And not for no reason, not for anything special, just because I think it's a little flavor. Like, put a little flavor in there. Make an effort. Don't be a douche nozzle, right? So, there's a lot of good channels on Telegram where they have some of these pictures. And I don't know, what kind of autist exactly comes up with, like, yeah, this is a good picture right here. Like, where do you get this shit, bro? But there's a good number of them. There's a lot of Russian channels. Well, I mean, it is Telegram, I guess, right? So you're going to have that. But there's a lot of Russian channels that are, there's a lot of good aesthetic type shit. There's some that's got like some, I don't know, how would you say, like some maybe vintage Americana or like some very aesthetic Americana, just some good shit, like some hot rod looking shit or some pinup girl looking shit, this kind of thing. So anyway, the point is, I looked through a bunch of these things, and I'll sort through them and see if there's one that seems interesting. And I have a bunch, like I'll have a shit ton of them in my phone, like, oh, that looks cool as fuck, and I'll save it. I'll use this for like an episode. But then I'll save all these stupid fucking memes, like really shitty memes, like a cat with a fucking sombrero or some shit. It's not even a meme, it's just a cat. But that's, save. You never know when you're going to need that. You're going to want that sombrero, boy. So I'll have this shit, and then the good picture will get lost in the fucking shuffle, and I'll be like, I had something. Cat, no. Jew stat, no. Ghetto stat, no, that's not it. Rape statistics, no, that ain't it either. And I'll have all this nonsense, but then the one picture I wanted, like, I will definitely use this. It's gone forever. It's somewhere. But, I was looking the other day, and I was looking for a goth girl, because I feel like a goth girl would be like a good aesthetic, for like a little thumbnail, for a little title screen, for an episode. And I guess in real life, I don't know from fucking goth girls. I don't think I've ever known any goth girls, which probably a shame on some level. There's also probably times too Or maybe I did. Maybe I have like met up with or hooked up with some goth girl that maybe she was like secretly goth and I didn't fucking know, and like she thought I wouldn't dig it or some shit. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't dig it because I'd be like, "What the fuck is with you? What is all this shit? What's with the fucking candles in this? Like fucking, come on, let's go here. Let's go, chop chop." So what was I talking about? Yeah, so I don't really, goth girls in real life. What do I fucking know? But I like as imagery goes, I think a goth girl makes for good imagery 9 times out of 10. And I thought it would make for a cool thumbnail. But it's for some reason when I look at them and I try to visualize, like, where would I fit the fucking title of the episode? Or, like, what am I going to cover up that, because I can't fit all this shit in here, right? So I got like a title, I got the little logo and this, and where am I going to, how's this, now like there's no benefit to having Goth Girl here because I got this shit going on. So I'm like, fuck, man. So I'm looking around and I'm like, today, you know how it is, man. You get hung up on some shit. Today's the day. I'm fucking finding this shit. It didn't work out. So the last episode, what did I think? I had like a bomber, like your standard American, plane dropping bombs on somebody who lives in a hut someplace. I don't fucking know. But I went with that, so it looks like a punk rock album. I couldn't find a goth girl to my liking. But while I was looking for a goth girl, and I found I came across a picture of the goth girl from Breaking Bad. I don't know if you remember that show, and it's from a good few years back. I think it was on Netflix. But it was, I think at the time, I want to say like at the time that came out, there was still, I think it was still a situation where, like this was pre-COVID and shit, where there were still good movies where you could be like, oh, that looks fucking cool, I'll watch that. So at the time, people said, yeah, it's a good show. But I don't think it got, total appreciation as like, this is actually good art. There's a lot going on here. It's pretty fucking cool. And I remember watching it and I remember liking it. But then it was like, yeah, but there's a lot of other cool shit, if you want to watch a movie or you want to watch a series or some shit. And, this is just one of several good shows. And now when I look back on it now, anyway, but looking for Goth Girl made me think of this. But, looking back on it now, I think of that show and I think of like, wow, that was actually a good show where everything now is like, this is the story of a woman who's had it up to fucking here. And every fucking thing I look at, man, if, you got a minute and you're like, you know what, I'm going to sit down with this whole pizza and eat this fucking thing and I'm going to watch a show and then go back to work or whatever. There's no fucking point. You're going to be done with the whole fucking pie before you find something worth watching because every fucking show is like this, the tale of a black man who's had it up to here. The story of a woman, a brave she pioneer. Fuck. It makes you goddamn nuts. Everything is fucking shit. But I do, in that sense, and when I saw this, it kind of like sparks that memory of like, oh yeah, this was when like you could just have a show that was about a situation. And it just because a show is about some woman, that doesn't even mean that it automatically sucks. Although a lot of times it will suck because that's what they're doing to you over here. But it could still be a good show. Maybe it's not a show I'm as personally invested in because I don't often as not give a shit what some woman is doing. They care about shit I don't care about. Usually that's not me. But instead of that, what is this fucking shit? Oh, it's a brave she operator and she's a fucking ass kicker and she's a genius or she's a fucking chess genius. I remember, dude, there was some show called Queen's Gambit. That's what it was. And it's got that hot girl in it. That hot girl that was in fucking Split with the fucking dude. Unbreakable fucking spin-off fucking show. And that guy, James something or other, McAvoy or whatever the fuck I think his name is, that motherfucker was really good in that show. But that fucking chick that was in it, I don't remember her name. She's the one, and the one I'm fucking talking about, where she gets kidnapped. And, it's the one where there's the memes where, like, he's our guy, and they get in the car and turns on the radio. and it's like Erica or some shit, and she looks at him and he looks at her and like, what the fuck? You didn't just hear that, did you? You know the one I mean. So it's this fucking chick, and I can't remember her name. She's like, she's kind of got these big fucking eyeballs. She looks like an anime girl almost. And like her eyes are almost on the side of her head. Like if it was a little bit further, you'd be like, what the fuck's wrong with this bitch? But anyway, I fucking digress. But she got this own movie situation called Queen's Gambit. And I'm like, I watched part of it, and it was like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like it looked weird, so I looked at it once, I remember. And I only watched a little of it because I was like, what the fuck is this shit? It didn't take long where you're like, well, what the fuck? Like just some she genius. She's an incredible chess player, amazing prodigy, the best. Nobody can beat her. And, of course, all the men want to fucking hold her down and hold her back and drug her and rape her and what the fuck ever. And I didn't think anything of it at the time until later. I saw a few days ago, well, fuck yeah, dude, like a few days ago, there is like a little clip that has gone around a little where it's like some little fucking spurg at a chess tournament, and he's playing some woman, and it's like some woman, and she's, I guess, like a grandmaster, chess grandmaster, whatever the fuck, playing at this fucking tournament, and so she's, of course, filming herself because a lot of these, like, women, if something happens and you don't film it, like, did it really even happen? Did you really even do it? No, fuck no. So you fucking playing chess, that's got to be fucking filmed. Otherwise, it doesn't count, right? So she's filming herself, sitting there. I'm contemplating. I'm like thinking because like thinking is like my thing. And that's like what I do and everything. And like some people do other stuff, but I'm like really smart and whatever. And I'm also super fun. So like, just so you know. So she's filming herself, and this little fucking spurg with a fucking booster cushion pulls up. He's got like a fucking little seat for him to sit on because he's a child. And he fucking pulls up, and he's like, I don't remember everything that he fucking said, but he pulls up, and he says something like, I'm going to beat you, okay? And the kid's like, I think he's like, I don't know, like 12 or some shit. And he's like 12 or some shit, and he pulls up, and he goes, he's like, I'm going to beat you, okay? She's like, yeah, okay. She's like, I'm a grandmaster, right? And he goes, I'm a grandmaster too. My rating's whatever. And she's like, yeah, my rating is, whatever, something good. I'm a grandmaster. And he's like, yeah, but you're a woman grandmaster. And I didn't know anything about this. Like little fucking asterisk, community notes at the bottom. Female grandmaster ratings are lower than, like, you got to play with a fucking handicap. And it's like the girls listening to this, our girls, like, it's no fucking shade to you. It's just what it is. I didn't make these fucking rules. I didn't make this fucking chick film herself. What the fuck is this? So she's fucking filming herself, and this kid just fucking smashes her, apparently, I guess. Just beats the shit out of her. And he fucking sticks his hand out, she shakes her hand, and he's like, I'm going to be world champion someday. Someday you're going to be, like, you're going to tell people that you met me. And he stands up and rolls out, and she's sitting there like, womp womp. Anyway, so yeah, that reminded me, that like now when I remember seeing that show, and I was like, this is fucking stupid, dude. Like, okay, you're a girl that's really good at chess. Congratulations, you're good at fucking chess. You're gonna go fucking compete. You're gonna compete with a fucking handicap or whatever, and you can still say you're good at it. Why do I gotta watch a fucking movie about it? Why do I have to sit through this shit? Why can't I just sit through a story that's a fucking story? Not everything has to be a fucking teachable moment. Fuck. So all that from looking for a goth girl, but reminded me of Breaking Bad, which this is what I'm coming to here that sort of, ties the whole cock and balls together. So I was looking at that, and I remember thinking at the time that if you remember the show, the idea of this show was that this is this down on his luck motherfucker. To summarize, because I don't know how many fucking seasons or whatever, it was not a short show. But in summary, this is this down on his luck, Charlie Brown, fucking raining on your parade, always a shit deal, fucking bad off motherfucker. Just getting pissed on, left, right, and fucking center. Gets diagnosed with like lung cancer and is like, man, fuck. Like he's a shitty high school teacher or something. And now he's got lung cancer and the fucking clock is ticking. And now, like, his brother or some shit is or maybe it's his brother-in-law. Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's his brother-in-law is like an FBI guy, and he didn't give a fuck. He's like, whatever. Why don't you come out with me? We'll go fucking. You can go do a ride along. We're gonna go raid some fucking drug house or a crack house or some shit. So he sees this shit, and he's like, and he starts thinking like, fuck, man, I could make some fucking bank. And his idea then is that he's gonna make a shit ton of money, like producing meth, sell this shit some fucking how, and he's gonna put together enough money to make sure that his family is set, his wife and his 2 kids are fucking set after he's dead from lung cancer. So a nice guy fucking story, and you're rooting your fucking ass off, like you're watching this shit, like, fuck, dude, and you're watching this guy fumble fuck through this thing, because this guy ain't a fucking drug dealer, he ain't a gangster, he ain't a killer, he ain't any of this shit. He's just a fucking dude. He's a dude that's been fucking pissed on most of his life, and you're like, fuck, and you're hoping this guy can come through, you're rooting for this fucker. Right, so he's doing his thing, and you watch through these fucking episodes as he fumble fucks through it. He steps on his dick a bunch of times. He does shit wrong, pisses off the wrong people, says shit he shouldn't say, makes mistakes he shouldn't make. But he's making progress. But what you see in the progress of this thing, which this is like what I'm coming to, with this thought process, and again, as it relates to some other shit that I'll mention forthwith. But he's doing this thing, and you watch this slow evolution, this slow series of compromises, whereby, like, if you had just fast forwarded to, like, the end of this fucking thing, you'd be like, this motherfucker needs to be hung by his own intestines. This is a bad fucking person, man. Like, this guy is fucked up. But you're watching this shit, and, like, you yourself, you don't even quite realize it. Like, you're thinking, like, at what point should I start seeing him as maybe he's not a very good guy? Maybe, he's part of the bigger fucking problem. Maybe as you were rooting for him and he's sort of cheese-dicking other people, and you're like, yeah, that's okay though, man, because he's like the hero of this story and I want to see the hero do well. And you're rooting for this shit that, like, as this progresses, you're like, fuck, by the end, you realize that, like, you were rooting for the bad guy. You were rooting for a very bad guy the whole fucking way. So at the end of this thing, as I recall, what it was there were multiple drug dealers, and some people were like, you're not, there are some people that are like, maybe you were an okay guy, but I mean, this story only ends one way for you. If you're in that world and you're fucking killing people and shooting people, ripping people off, or what the fuck ever, setting people on fire, even if you decide at some point to turn over some kind of new leaf, I don't know that karma gives a shit, right? I think you might have a little something coming down the pipe, still. But as you watch this thing, man, and you kind of realize, like, this is a bad fucking person, man, it kind of, it makes you think, it gives you a reason, or, a good reason to pause, I guess, and think through the idea of, like, well, where else do I see this, man? Because this is, it's a fake story, obviously. Like, let's not be the fucking guy like, this is just like that my favorite fucking anime character. I'm not saying that like it's a real fucking person. I'm talking about the phenomenon, the way that this unfolds. This is a very real thing. Like, nobody fucking starts out saying, like, I'm going to go poison fucking kids. I'm going to go kill some guy that's just trying to do his level best. I'm going to rip off this guy who's already having a shit time. I'm just going to push him a little farther because fuck him, right? Nobody goes into it talking like that. People go into it talking about, well, look, man, I got a good reason for doing this shit I'm doing. I got a real good fucking reason, and I'm doing the best I can fucking do. So as you're watching this shit and you watch this guy slowly fucking compromise until the end, he really does, like, I guess, mildly poison the child of some Mexican single mother, which, here again, this is like where you're sort of at is this a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, it's up for debate. I couldn't completely say. That's like my, a little white man coping, a little white nationalist coping there. Like, maybe this is an okay thing. If it would have been a black kid, you can just be like, well, hear him out. Maybe not all bad. So, but you're watching this shit, and now, as you sit and think on it, if you sit and think on it later, now you got to sit and think of, like, well, do I see other shit like that, like in real life? Like, am I like that? Are there things where I've been like that? I could look at that and say, yeah, definitely, absolutely. I've done shit that's like, yeah, no, it's okay, though. I got a good reason for this. But you're really fucking people over. Like, you're really fucking people up. You're doing people wrong. And, yeah, quite possibly, maybe I'm in the same boat there that, like, yeah, you could turn over all the fucking leafs you want. You got a little something in the mail still. Like, you probably ain't going to walk this shit off completely. Who the fuck knows, man, right? But, just the same, it does give you a little time to stop and think of, like, is this some shit that I pull, or is this some shit that I look at and see other places and just allow these small, steady compromises, this slippery slope to slowly facilitate me rooting for what is, for all intents and purposes, the bad fucking guy. So I think you can probably see where I'm going with this, man, that, like, if we look at the state of, look at the state of our country today. And I see this where, like, there's some, I don't know if I want to say news, but information outlets that I have, or I guess I'd say now had, consistently listened to. And a few of them were, one that I had listened to, and I don't honestly know, I don't really even listen to it no more because it's so fucking... like, it's so fucking bent. I listened to one called Forward Observer, and I think they got a channel on YouTube, but it used to be like a subscription service, and they put out like a daily podcast, and they'd have like a short piece and then a longer deep dive piece. And what I liked about it initially was this was like a couple of, I think they're former Army guys, but like intel guys, yeah? So they were used to putting together reports that are like, this is just the information. It's the information that you need. It's not what I think about it. It's not what I feel about it. It's not how it might play out down the road or why it happened or any of this shit. It is just what happened. This is the shit that happened, right? So there was a protest and this shit happened. 3 people died. The cops say they're going to look for whoever done it. They think they got some leads. That's something that happened. This country bombed that country. They hit this, that, and the other port. Their spokesman says this is why they did it, and they're going to keep doing it, or they're done now, or whatever. That's something that happened. This is how they used to roll. And I was like, this is the shit, dude. I can use this. But now, since this Iran thing spun up, it has become like, a lot of this shit you look at and you listen to, and it's like you're listening to fucking... It's like you're listening to sports announcers, and they're all watching different games. Like, wait, these guys aren't talking about the same thing. Because they're talking about, like, well, this fucking team is kicking the shit out of those guys. And the other team is like, wow, this team's really holding steady and they're really, making progress. It's like, well, dude, both things can't be true. But if you listen to these guys and then you look at literally everything everywhere else, with your fucking special eyes, you're like, what fucking war are you watching, dude? Talking about, like, yeah, the fucking the U.S. is just beating the shit out of them. This should be over in a couple of weeks. They say we got this well in hand and everything's going to be back to normal and up and running, and, our position is greatly improved, and really amazing what President Orange Retard has done here. And, like, what fucking war are you watching, guy? And I think, when you look at the state of leadership in this country, I think if you just showed up today, like if you got put in a coma in like 1960 and, I don't know, fucking frozen solid and then like thawed out this morning and you looked at this shit, what the fuck would you think, man? Like, how would you look at this? Like, what would you fucking think about this? Like, you'd look at this shit, you walk outside in your fucking country and you'd be like, so I'm getting taxed out my fucking ass. I'm getting literally broken in half, and what do I get for it? Like, the roads don't work right. Fucking shit is crowded everywhere. Everything is fucking indecently expensive. I mean, the percentage of what it costs, the number of years you have to work to get a house now is fucking insanely higher than it was at any time past. Your dollar doesn't go nearly as far as it used to at any time past. You sound like a boomer when you say that shit. Oh, my dollar doesn't buy shit anymore. If it became a thing of like, yeah, numerically, like, yeah, you used to make 20 grand a year. Now you make 100 grand a year. But, a house, back then used to cost, whatever, fucking 300 grand. Now it costs, fucking whatever, $1 million. It's proportionally, it's the exact fucking same. So don't make it weird. But it's not proportional. And that's the rub, really. Is like, your money is fucked. Your leadership is fucked. You trying to get a job as a white man is fucked. I mean, colleges and jobs are saying outright, I don't fucking want you. I am looking for Shaniqua. It's like a bad fucking film. Looking for Shaniqua. What's this about? It's about a fucking HR recruiter. Dude, I'll make this fucking movie. I can't make movies. You know what? I know someone who can. This might be a really kick-ass fucking, like, a first AI movie. The first white nationalist AI movie. Looking for Shaniqua. It's about an HR, the last white HR man, and he's driving cross-country looking for a qualified black woman to work in, let's say it's like secretary at some government position that requires a security clearance. Because trying to find a black woman that can type and doesn't have crimes under her belt and can be trusted to show up on time and pass a piss test? Are you out of your fucking mind? Looking for Shaniqua. Holy fuck, dude. You can fill 2 hours of that easy. What could be easier, right? Yeah, all right. Let's put a little pin in that. We'll come back to it. Anyway, what I'm getting at, though, is that you look at all of this shit that's going on, man. Like, you're being bled fucking dry. The shit that you have to turn a blind eye to. Just absolute fucking filth. Gayness, degeneracy, fucking madness around every fucking corner. And the best you could do is like, yeah, man, I just pretend it's not that fucking bad. I just try to tell myself it's cool and it's normal and maybe someday it'll get fixed. It ain't getting fucking fixed, man. All done voting. I saw a good image. It's like one of these Brovet like T-shirt things, but it was like a dude hanging out like an El Camino or some shit with an AK, and it says we're done voting. I thought that was pretty sweet. But yeah, I mean, but it's a solid take though. Like, this is fucking stupid. This hasn't fucking panned out. So in that sense, man, I think it is a good idea. When you see shit, when you see shit, long and short, man, call it out, dude. And I mean, I think it feels petty sometimes, like with this space thing, where like the fucking whatever, the fucking space thing. Like, sometimes I know that, like, in our thing, we don't like to talk about the space thing because, nobody's quite sure what to make of it. Like, I know the government lies to me. I know NASA is headed by a Hebrew, and I know it don't cost $10 million to go buy a fucking shovel. So are you lying to me too? Yeah, probably. Does that mean space is fake and gay? I don't fucking know, man. I'm not trying to take away any glory from any genius white man, but it's a fucking sticky wicket. Yeah, it's difficult to unravel this shit, and maybe that's part of it. But it also is a thing that, like, yeah, so we just don't talk about it that much. Just, but if I look at it as just, it is what it fucking is, just like what's right in front of me, what's being shoved in my face. Well, what's being shoved in my face is the Burger King Kids Club. Burger King Kids Club goes to the moon. Here's an African, here's a she cosmonaut, and they went to the fucking, around the horn or whatever the fuck. And now, who's the fucking poster child for this bullshit? It's going to be one of these two jamokes. It's sure as shit not going to be these two white dudes that, let's not fucking bullshit each other, right? Like, we know who is fucking driving this train. But I do think, though, that, like, when you see shit that's like, well, this is fucking stupid, man. When you see that it's like, we're doing this for fucking Israel. When you see that it's like, do you think that guy could fucking get that job without that extra check in the box? Fuck no. I don't think there's anything wrong with calling that shit out. Hey, wasn't that the broad that got introduced to her husband by fucking Epstein? Dude, it reminded me of that. I just saw, there's like a thing, Melania Trump came out and did a press conference, like a totally unsolicited press conference, to tell everybody that she did not personally know Jeffrey Epstein. Like, nobody fucking asked you, bitch. Like, let's not fuck around, dude. Like, this first lady business, or straight off the top, this is fucking stupid. Like, I don't know that there's ever been a first lady that could not do what a man could do with 3 cups of coffee. All right? Like, any of these fucking little social causes, this bullshit, I don't fucking subscribe, man. And again, our girls, no shade, but this first lady thing, fucking lame, fucking stupid. Fuck off with this. I don't want to see that hulking Negro out there clapping her fucking hands and waving her dick on daytime TV. I don't want to see Hillary Clinton. Although, I'll tell you this, in the day, I do remember saying, obviously this doesn't apply now, but in the very, very early 90s, nobody liked her. Nobody liked her anyway. But I did say, like, at the time, like, dude, I'd bang her just for sport, just as a check in the box. I'll fucking do it. And people gave me fucking shit. They were like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? She's a fucking bitch. Like, dude, I don't want to take her to fucking prom. I don't want to sit and have an extended conversation. I'm just going to bang her to say that I did. What do you want from me? She's the only reasonable looking fucking first, again, like 1992 or whatever. So not today, not last week. But only reasonable, like almost human looking first lady in God knows how long. So why not? You would do it too. Shut the fuck up. I know where you fucking work, right? These fucks, like dudes that I fucking work with. How you gonna flip me shit? I know how you fucking are. So, you know, again, you look historically at this shit, like who else, man? Fucking Barbara Bush. That's a fucking dude. That looks like and I try not to subscribe to this shit like the Johnny Monoxide flavor of like literally every fucking celebrity is a tranny. I don't do that. I can't play that game, man. That's too silly. It's too crazy. Right? But Barbara Bush, that woman's got a dick too, dude. Come on, look at this fucking broad. She's like, I don't want to go too far with it. Like, I heard people say like Anton LaVey's granddaughter or some shit. Dude, it's fucking spooky looking, man. There's some shit that's awry up in here. Shit's not right, all right? All the way back to fucking Eleanor Roosevelt. And what did she bring to the fucking table? You should let women vote. Bitch, like, look at you. Look at this state of you. It's no fucking good. I don't want to. I'm not interested in this. So, again, man, First Lady, this is a stupid fucking idea. I don't know what the fuck I was even talking about that got me on this fucking train. But, oh, yeah, this interview thing with Melania. Yeah. So she goes on TV and, like, I think we can give up this pretense that, like, we've actually elected competent people. I mean, in this country, we elect fucking memes at this point. Like, none of these people are actual. They're not measured for competence. You know what I mean? Donald Trump is a fucking meme. Joe Biden, I don't know what the fuck that is. That was like a hangover. But Barack Obama, you came in here with literally no fucking qualms. I think he was a fucking, like, what was he, a congressman or a senator or some shit? But you only got that gig because you're fucking African. And that was the only fucking thing. I was a community organizer. And then you got in there. You're there for barely any fucking years. Didn't do shit. Which none of them do shit anyway. So, in fairness, right? But, I mean, all these fucking clowns. Bill Clinton. Fucking saxophone. What's his deal? He plays his saxophone. He's really cool. What the fuck is this? What is this asshole good at? Governor of Arkansas? Oh, yeah, where they were running like the fucking drugs and money for the Iran-Contra thing in and out of there. Like, how fucking small is that spider web, right? So we haven't had a time where we elect somebody that's competent. So if we're only electing fucking joke people, we're only electing memes, this is really only just kind of a half-assed popularity contest, well, then why the fuck does anybody think that we give a shit about, 2 cents from the broad he's banging? The guy we have now is an absolute joke. The woman you're married to is just a piece of ass. We know this. All right? You didn't marry her as like, it's a great pairing. We're going to make for some fantastic children. There's, imagine the talent on this kid. No. He'll be tall and a grifter, and probably orange. So, what the fuck? Anyway, so this broad comes out, does a do-it-yourself press conference. Like, yeah, I need to have a press conference. It comes out here to tell everybody that, no, I didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. What? Nobody asked you, you dumb bitch. What are you fucking talking about? I did not meet him. He did not introduce me to my husband. And the only time I am meeting him was when we are at a party and Donald introduced me to him. Fuck you, man. So apparently now the reason that this came out is because some other bitch that this bitch knows, and I can't remember this bitch's name because bitches' names, I mean, people in general, people that matter to me, I don't remember their names. I sure as fuck ain't gonna remember this bitch's friend's name. But some friend of this bitch that was, and I can't remember where the fuck she's from, but Brazil, there you go, some bitch from Brazil, was a good friend of this Melania. So this broad, friend of hers, marries some American dude. They have a kid. But now there's some sort of falling out between this couple. So this dude and this Brazilian bitch, friend of Melania, they're getting divorced. And this guy, friend of Donald, says, hey, man, get this bitch out of the country. So for whatever reason, the bitch's papers weren't in order. So she gets fucking Agent 86 fucking out of here, gets launched the fuck out of the country, and the guy gets to keep the kid here. Because the kid's an American citizen, apparently, because he's born here. Anchor baby, right? One each. Well, apparently not in this bitch's case. So this broad Melania calls the Donald, the orange retard, and is like, hey, can you can help me? You can help me to come back to America? And they're like, I don't know who the fuck you are. And now this broad starts threatening to talk that, like, yeah, you know what? There's a lot of shit that I know you don't want me to say. So you help me get back and get my kid, or I'm going to start talking about shit. I don't know much, dude. And I sure as shit don't know how to deal with women because women are a pain in the fucking ass. But I'll tell you one thing I know. Don't get between a mom and her fucking kid. Because if nothing else, as much as like some women are useless fucking animals and will only see their kid as like a bargaining chip or a way to leverage a system or a way to leverage their husband or a way to get back at their husband or some shit, at the very least, any inconvenience to a kid, a woman will and can see this as an affront to herself. That like, see that? I can do this to your kid. You can't do shit about it. They'll take that shit personally, even if they don't give a fuck about the kid. And that's not to say she doesn't. I don't know this bitch at all. But, you put yourself in a tight spot when you do some shit like this. So apparently now this fucking guy keeps this kid, sends this bitch back to Brazil. And so now this chick sends a fucking, I don't know what, like a tweet, I guess. This is how people do shit now. Tweets out that like, hey, you better help me get this fucking thing fucking straightened out. I'm going to start telling something you don't want me to tell. And now, suddenly, here's Melania out here with do-it-yourself press conference. I just want to get out ahead of this and say that I don't know this motherfucker. Okay. Because now, when we look at the emails, right, when we look at this Epstein emails, she's got emails back and forth with Ghislaine talking about, hey, how are you? How I saw the thing with J.E. in the, whatever, Wall Street Journal or whatever. Looked real cool. I know you're probably busy. Call me when you're back in New York. Let's link up. Fuck you, man. Bitch, don't act like you don't know this motherfucker. I know that you do. So, I guess if you look at it that way, now you got to ask, like, well, why so serious, right? Like, what's the fucking concern, baby? Why suddenly now? Like, if you don't know him and she don't know shit, then why the fuck are you out here running your dick holster? According to the orange retard, this was all a surprise to him. I had no idea. No idea is what I have. Some say it's the most surprised I've ever been. Never more surprised than I am right now. I didn't know she was doing this. Do-it-yourself press conference. I could have helped. Could have given her a really good one, but maybe we'll do that next time. But I mean, how, and the bigger question, I guess, how fucked up is your war when you got to distract with pedophilia, right? When, like, being part of an international pedophile ring is the lesser of two fuck-ups. I don't fucking know, right? So speaking of fucked up wars, moving along to this Iran situation, man, the fucking thick plottings every fucking inch. So as predicted, the U.S. has returned cap-ish in hand-ish, talking about, well, hey, why don't you, let's meet again, dude. Let's talk again. We're going to talk again, right? Let's talk some more. So there's going to be another round of talks. This time, the debate is between Geneva and, again, in Islamabad. I think it's going to be in Islamabad again because Iran don't need this shit, and I think that the orange retard is only saying Geneva because that's like a traditional place that you would go to have fucking talks. If they have it in Geneva, I believe there will be a definite okay, here's the end of this fucking thing. However, I don't think it'll go that way. I think, and this is just me personally, not for any particular reason, I don't know, maybe, I'll lay it out. I think it's going to be in Islamabad again, and how it pans out from there is hard to say. I think it's going to be in Islamabad again because Iran don't need this shit, all right? And, just the fact that Orange Retard was the one to come out and say this, and J.D. Vance, or J.D., whatever the fuck his real name is, came out talking about, we don't need this. Iran needs this. They really need this. We don't need it. This, to me, is this is that girl talking about, I'm not going home with you, just so you know. I'm not going to go home with you. Okay, all right. But I see it's on the table, so you're the one bringing it up. Right? I didn't bring this up. You're the one bringing it up so I could see that it's going through your mind. Am I going home with you or not? Do I need this or not? Do I need this or do they need it? What do people think? What are people saying? How might I be coming across? I haven't heard Iran say that shit. I hear Orange Retard say that shit. So it's pretty obvious. So that's why I believe it's going to be in Islamabad. If it's in Geneva, I think a deal will be arrived at. I don't think Iran will go to Geneva unless they have a really, really good reason to believe that this is going to get ironed out. So moving from that, though, I don't think that's going to happen either. I don't think Iran is going to have a reason to think that this is going to get ironed out because Israel keeps fucking putting its fingers in the pie, and America is too leveraged to tell them to knock that shit off. So the fucking around continues with Israel. They are continuing to bomb Lebanon, fucking up, the southern piece of Lebanon. It was hard to get a grip on what the fuck exactly is going on with this Lebanon, but it appears, as I am understanding it now, that the Lebanese government is a lot like, I guess, probably the Egyptian government and the Jordanian government. Very, very, very cucked, ultra cucked, angry cucked. And they're the ones talking, motherfucker, your citizens are getting bombed by a foreign country. There's a small group of people saying, hey, we'll fucking fight them. We'll go fucking fight them. We have the wares. We have the manpower. We'll go do it. Even if they fucking lose, who fucking cares? If it's 10 guys with the balls to stand up and say something, that's at least something, yes? So Hezbollah is out there standing up yeah, dude, we're ready. We'll get it on. But the Lebanese government is no, Hezbollah is actually the problem here. Well, who the fuck did Hezbollah kill? Is Hezbollah killing Lebanese citizens? Oh, well, hey, maybe they're attacking Israelis. Who gives a fuck? Who do you represent, asshole? Do you represent Lebanon or do you represent Israel? Oh, yes. So suddenly it becomes a little bit more apparent where your fucking bread is buttered. Yes? So the Lebanese government has been, kind of playing ball with these Israelis. Hezbollah has been bringing some fucking heat, and everything I'm seeing is dude, Hezbollah is fucking these people up. I mean, obviously Israel can stand back and just rocket motherfuckers, send missiles and so on. But when it's up close and in your ass, I mean, Hezbollah is fucking these people up, dude. Because, dude, these Israelis, and it's fucking nuts. Because they will run on and fucking on about how badass they are. And dude, fucking Gazans were fucking you up. People that you have had on lockdown since 1960 something. You have had them locked the fuck down. You fucking search and censor everything that goes into that fucking place. And they are still kicking your fucking ass. Explain. You have you have access to the best equipment and the best training on the fucking planet. These people have whatever they have in their pockets. And they are still eating your fucking lunch. That's got to be embarrassing as shit. Like, I wouldn't say anything. Like, bro, if you're not good at fucking fighting, just say that. Like, dude, I fucking suck at this. I'm no good at it. I need help. I need fucking help. Someone help me. They don't ever say that. They talk about the most moral army in the world. A very capable, the strong Israeli soldier. Fuck off. Helpless and stupid and lame and weak. I love to watch them get clipped. Imagine getting blown up wearing a fucking diaper. Fuck, man, that would suck. I always wonder, like, I don't, think this, but, what if, like, when you die, right, and you just come back, like, come back where you fucking prestidigitate, you materialize, like, you respawn, whatever, at the pearly gates in the afterlife or whatever, wearing whatever you had on. So, like, if you were, whatever, man, you were in the shower and you slipped and fell and ate shit and you busted your fucking head open, now you now you're in the afterlife, but you're ass naked. Like, fuck, this fucking sucks. So what if you're an Israeli soldier and you're like, blammo, and now you fucking respawn in the afterlife wearing a fucking diaper. And everybody would know. Everybody will see you. Shlomo Sheckelstein with your fucking giant Coke bottle glasses. Oh, God, my glasses. And his shoe got blown off. So fucking jerk. Sits down to like take a rock out of his shoe and takes off a fucking boot, but he's like sits on a landmine or some shit, and then blammo, and like blows up, wearing one shoe. I can't find my shoe. He's wandering the afterlife in a diaper, in a dirty Israeli diaper, looking for his fucking spectacles and shoes. A girl can dream, right? It's fucking great. Anyway, so Israel fucking around. So apparently now Israel has pulled some shit where they attacked this port and I don't have a map in front of me, dude. Like, I just heard about this morning. I haven't looked at a map because I can't read a map. But no, I haven't looked at a map. But apparently a spot on the Caspian Sea where Russian and Iranian, property lines, I guess, if you like, or interests intersect. And there's a port there that Russia is like, yeah, that's our shit. Iran, I don't know if this is in Iranian territory or, whatever, man. But for whatever reason, Israelis bombed it, and the Russians are like, hey, fuck sticks. That's our shit. So Putin appears to have issued an official warning that, like, hey, assholes, do not fuck around like that. I will fuck you up. Now, like, the analysis I heard on this was that, like, one, that your Russians are not generally given to bluffing. Yeah? This is not, like, you should probably, like, this is not China, dude. They will not issue you 25 final warnings. Like, they will fucking smash you. You won't like it. Moreover, though, is the idea that, like, Israel didn't do this shit by accident, dude. Why do you think they would fucking attack something? So, like, if you think this shit through, why would Israel attack something? You have, like, something you could tacitly try to pass off as an excuse of, like, what, bro? It's Iranian shit. We're fucking attacking Iran, bro. What, bro? You knew, bro. But why would you do something that you can try to pass off as an attack on Iran that is really a provocation towards Russia? For my money, the reason for that is because if there's a possibility that, like, Russia wades into this, now America has to get pulled full tilt into this. So America has to see that, like, dude, if Russia comes into this, this is a bigger pain in the ass than I want to ever have to fucking deal with. So it's in my interest to get this done as soon as humanly possible. So what is soon as humanly possible look like? That's either ground invasion or nukes. Nukes would be probably a no-go. That would probably be the entire world saying, you know what, we've had it with your shit. Like, there's nothing really fucked up that you could do anymore. I mean, you're doing the most fucked up things that anyone can imagine. Like, you've butt-fucked the entire planet's economy. You have cheese-dicked. And now you're nuking people who never did shit to you. So something is going to have to be done. Which means that, like, that petrodollar thing, it just evaporates overnight. And even if the U.S. did come to a position where, like, well, look, man, we're producing petroleum and we've got all this shit, still, maybe we find ourselves in like an Iran or a North Korea situation where the whole world is like, yeah, you can have whatever the fuck you want. We're just not going to do business with you. Fuck you. And now life gets a whole lot more complicated if you're in America. So that's not what you want. But that does then leave the option of a ground invasion, which even while they were doing these rounds of talks in Islamabad, movements continued with a metric shit ton of ships, troops, planes, trains, automobiles moving towards the Middle East theater. So for my money, yeah, it looks like it may go that direction. I mean, again, dude, you could say anything's going to happen, but at this point, I would put heavy money on it that, like, yeah, this is going to fucking happen. They've already wheeled out, I think it was fucking Nikki Haley, that brain dead fucking sack of shit. Or nah, I can't remember if it was Nikki Haley or Tulsi Gabbard. One of the fucking pieces of ass. One of the midwit IQ fucking, hey, go out there and pretend to be pretty and float this shit and see if people buy it. Talking about, yeah, we're going to have to go boots on the ground on this thing. That's what I think is probably going to happen, and I support the president. So it looks, just based on that, that probably this will happen, which is not good. It's not fucking good, man. How does that translate to your life getting difficult? Well, I mean, I would say, you see a lot of talk about, like, bro, something's going to have to happen, fucking revolution, bro. But again, like we say a lot of times, you see what it takes for people to genuinely get out there and decide to get it on. Like, it's going to take your fucking Weimar conditions. It's going to take, a whole lot of really fucked up situations before people are like, you know what, dude, my life will just be easier. I'll either roll the dice and this revolution thing will pan out, or I'll get smoked and my worries will be over. In either case, it's better than what I got going right now. That's where I think it has to get to before people are like, yeah, okay, let's go. And it's definitely not there yet. So, yeah, dude, you can expect to see fucking higher gas prices, higher food prices, higher everything prices. And I'm starting to look. I'll tell you what, I've been looking around for a little while, and we've talked about it on here before. Like, what are some possible outs in terms of, like, dude, if America gets super fucked up, like, is there a place I could hide out? Is there a place I could go and wait it out? Wait it out and then look at coming back after, or just go somewhere else and be somewhere else. Well, after the last, after the most recent fucking excursion, I'll tell you, fucking Costa Rica ain't it. Because it's expensive as fuck, man. It's like living in a fucking gift shop. I don't know how it is out in Dog Patch, but in anywhere fucking normal, it wasn't my cup of tea, dude. I listened to, there's one dude that's got, there's a few different channels on like YouTube where, and what's interesting here is, like, people will pitch some of this shit, but it's always kind of geared towards their personal druthers, I guess. There's some European woman that does a few that I've seen, and she talks about like Portugal, and it feels like with this broad, especially Europeans, when they talk about this shit, it feels more like they're talking about, like, here are places you could retire or some shit. But this broad is talking about, like, Spain, Portugal, this kind of thing. Fuck, dude, where else was she talking? Oh, like Cyprus or Malta. I think she talked a little bit about Turkey. I don't know that I'd want to live in no fucking Turkey. I mean, there's a lot of Turks in Turkey. Turkey mentioned. Oh, that reminds me too, man. What's something that's very interesting, and I'll bounce back to this, but that's been going on since this ceasefire situation. When it's a pause like this, I think it's like a bar fight where, you're going at it with some motherfucker, and maybe, like, he's got his boys and you got your boys, and they see you and you're both just slugging it out a little bit, but nobody's really fucking, the other guy up. So you just, like, I don't know what happened. Let them settle their differences. If it gets fucking weird, maybe we jump in. But then once it's broken up if there becomes some kind of fucking situation where like one side is like, hey, motherfucker, hey, I want some more, and start stepping in there, now is the time where like a lot of the boys will kind of circle the wagons and like, hey, motherfucker, don't try that shit. Like, you come over here, you're going to get fucking smacked. And so you see like it's kind of a break in the action, but now the whole thing kind of resets. Where if the boys catch you, catch somebody stepping in here starting shit, they're like, it's going to get hectic fast. And that's kind of what happened here, I think, with this Iran thing, because now there's a break in the action. And Turkey has spoken up. Like, Israel has already been talking it up about Turkey. That like, hey, these Turks, this is a problem too, and they're part of the issue here, and they're a threat to us as well. And like, as soon as Israel starts calling somebody a threat, it's like, oh, well, we have the right to preemptively deal with anybody that we decide is a threat. So what does that tell you? But now Turkey has come out talking about like, hey, aggression against places like Lebanon and Syria. This is, we see that as a threat to a place like us. So you're going to want to watch your step. So I don't know that it was such a specific warning in terms of like, if you do X, Y, and Z, then Turkey is going to step in and do, exactly this, that, or the other. But Turkey mentioned, so there's that. But circle-de-jerkling back to some of these potential getaway spots. Something that's been of interest since I started talking about this, like the Argentine situation has, this could be like, could be kind of a knife's edge over here, but also some potential right next door. So Argentina, like, obviously, man, like, this is our uncle's favorite getaway. They talk about how Argentinians, these are not, pyramid walking motherfuckers. These are Spaniards, these are Portuguese, these are French people, these are German people. They just, they went down there and set up shop, and now they live down there. These are not your fucking pyramid walking Guatemalans. These are Argentinians. And they see themselves as differently than these pyramid walking Guatemalans. So, that's well and good, except for what, your adopted Hebrew fucking tiny hat Javier Milei has done to the place, which, apart from the economic disaster, includes burning down a bunch of Patagonia. And now they're talking about, we're going to make space for like 300,000 Israeli refugees, who've been picked on and can't live in their homeland. So we're going to let them set up shop here. What the fuck, So apparently, like, we have the same ideas as these coin clippers where, we're looking for, like, if there's a spot I got to hide out for a minute while things get sorted out back at the pad. Where could it be? Argentina might not be bad. Oh, hey, look at that. Overrun with hand rubbers. Apparently, there's already a pretty large Hebrew population there. But, it's just, the bullshit continues. Apparently, though, right next door, Uruguay, a pretty good scene, a little slower paced, as I understand. I've talked to a few people. I talked to one guy who married a girl from there. He said that there's, again, very much the same. I don't know the fucking history of Uruguay. I don't so much know the history of Argentina, only what I told you so far. But based on what I'm being told there, it sounds like Uruguay is largely the same thing, which would be pretty cool. How much bleed over is there between the bullshit going on in Argentina and Uruguay? I couldn't fucking say. But apart from that, in South America, almost anything else, I would probably avoid pretty much anything in South America at this point. I know there's some German population that's relocated to Paraguay. I know a couple people that have been to Chile, and I can't say that sounded too appetizing. Looking at Central America, obviously, like we talked about, Costa Rica that's not really a step up. That's not even a step sideways. That's closer to like a step down. It's like America prices. It's American airport prices at third world living standards. So I don't know I don't think you can call that better, right? But more in Central America, El Salvador, I ain't never been to no El Salvador. I am real sure that it's third world, though, and I'm sure the prices are a little more manageable than your Costa Rica. I know it's who's that guy, Bukele, that kind of straightened the place out, pretty much locked up everybody. I am understanding that it's extremely safe now, but again, I've never been there. I don't know how it is. Could it be worse than someplace like fucking Baltimore? I don't think it could be. I don't see how it possibly could be. So if your choice is between downtown Baltimore and El Salvador, I'm going to fucking El Salvador. Voy a El Salvador. Looking at Europe, dude, Eastern Europe is starting to get a little bit dicey too. The Fidesz party in Hungary, Viktor Orban, they just lost an election, and a lot of the fucking libtards in the States are hee-hee-haw-hawing about that shit. And I talked to one the other day, and I was like, what the fuck are you laughing about? Well, Trump and his guys think they're so smart, and he's like a friend of like Trump and everything, so like now he didn't get elected, so like fuck them, ha 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 ha. And I'm like, yeah, ha ha ha. You know what that means, right? Like that means that now that's one more country that's never going to have any kind of nationalist fucking sentiment again. They're going to open the door to 10 million fucking Muslims. That's one more fucking European country that's down the shitter and lost forever. So wow, how the fuck is that funny? I don't know. Just fuck Trump. That's all. Like, all right, shut the fuck up. So, I mean, something like Hungary, that's fucked. I mean, dude, Bulgaria, I mean, shit like this, Bulgaria, Romania, these are just, I mean, that's rough fucking living, bro. I mean, I guess if you had some kind of passive income from the States where you were getting some kind of reasonable money, some kind of decent money, that donut money, that would be something. But if you were going to try to go over here and carve out a living, good fucking luck, bro. Imagine trying to find a job in fucking Bulgaria. I wouldn't do that shit. Apart from that, dude, like your Serbia, Montenegro, I guess, is nice. But again, I understand it to cost a little bit more because it is kind of a vacation hotspot. Croatia, I hear is nice. Vacation hotspot for Europeans for sure. But again, I don't know as far as price goes. And could you find a job and manage to stay alive? I don't know, between like that and Serbia. So like Serbia, Croatia, Montenegro, I don't know, man. Like if you could even manage to pick up enough of that language, or maybe if you can pick up some European language and you could function, if you're a smart guy, one of our guys, and function as a kind of a conduit go-between for like, I'm like the bartender that speaks it all, baby. Like I can tell you we don't have any more beer in French, German, English, Spanish, and Ruski Yizik. Anyway, yeah, and and of course Russian, where you could try your luck there. I understand they do still have this shared values visa situation, and that I haven't looked at this in a long time, but that they had this deal, like this American village thing, where it was like small enclaves of Americans and Europeans that were like, man, fuck this, I'm out, and moving, set up shop in Russia. But I don't know, again, how feasible that would be or how cool that would be. If you were a single dude and you decided like, yeah, this is what I'm going to fucking do. If you decided this shit, it would probably not be too bad, dude. It would probably be pretty low drama. Like, this is what I wanted to do. And if I decide it sucks, I just pack my shit and I take off. That's no big deal. All right. If you had like a wife and kids, dude, I could see that being like a pain in the balls. Like, what if you go over here and you really fucking dig it? You're like, this is fucking great, dude. I can afford shit. People are nice. Streets are clean. No coloreds. This is the shit. But then, like, your kids are trying to go to school, and learn fucking Russian. That can't be fucking easy, dude. So I could see where that would be a pain in the balls. Or maybe, like your old lady goes over here and she's like, all these Russian bitches are in good shape. They're like, they got it together. And I'm a dumpy American. I feel like shit. I want to go home. Yeah, I want to go back to, back to America where like somebody told me this once. I think it was like the weight of the average American woman. It's like 170 something, 180 something. That's like the average. Fuck, I got to look it up now. I got to fucking look it up. It's terrible. So yeah, as far as options to duck out, man, I feel like maybe closer would be better. I would still say like Mexico is an absolute no-go. But I did see one thing that was talking about like Panama, an extremely attractive possibility where like, yeah, you can get residence fairly easy somewhere like Panama. I want to look at El Salvador now that I'm thinking about it, man. I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to look at, like, what does it take to get residency in El Salvador? Because at least then, like, you know, like your visa's not going to be up and you got to go to the border and get a stamp. And they're like, oh, yeah, fucking, you're a thought criminal. You got to go home. Sorry, I can't do shit for you. Like, fuck, this sucks. So, yeah, I want to look into some shit like that because I don't see this shit improving anytime soon. So that's my 2 cents. Oh, you know what? Before I go then, and in true Abuse Hour fashion, I will share with you one brilliant fucking idea I had while I was on this trip. And I went to this restaurant where they had not all manner, but several manner. Like they were trying to do like, here's some traditional American drinks that we can serve for you. And they have White Russian on there. And I'm like, who the fuck would come to Central America and order a White Russian? Like, am I fucking Lebowski in here? But I'm like, I am in Central America. So I said, like, why don't you do this, make this, but make it with rum? And it was good as fuck, dude. So your White Russian with rum. Now, this is a rum, like your rum of choice. I think what's cool about a White Russian, so a White Russian then, like typically, this is vodka, Kahlua, or any coffee liqueur. I think there's a better coffee liqueur than Kahlua, and I can't remember what it is. I got to look for it. But a coffee liqueur, and then you top this off with cream. You can, like typically, I like to shake a drink. I probably would not shake this with cream in it because it makes this shit frothy. And if you like that, then you can have it. But like, it's just, it don't quite work, I don't think, with the White Russian. So again, I always like a shake drink, but even this one I tend to stir. So this is typically then this could be like 2 shots of vodka, and then depending on your taste, anywhere between a half to 1 shot of coffee liqueur, and then fill with cream, and then stir it real nice, and now you drink it up. But if you do this with rum, what's cool about this is that usually with rum, when you mix this shit and you put in some kind of like mixed drink, you're going to want to use like a white or clear rum, like you're traditionally what you would think of like Bacardi. There's a rum called 10 Cane, and I haven't seen it around in a little while, and I don't know if they stopped making it or what, but it's real nice. And it's not a super expensive rum, but the way that they do it, like typically the way that rum was made was you got the sugar shit that you grow, right? Now they would take that shit and they put it through a press and like squeeze it. So I don't know if you remember firsthand, right? Like I do, right? Like the old school like close ringer outer fucking thing. It's like you turn a crank and it's got 2 wheels that like and it like squeezes the shit out of it, right? So it squeezes the water out of it. So it's like the same thing, except more industrial, you know? So you would take these stalks of sugar cane and feed them into this thing, and it squeezes all that shit out of it, all that sugar shit. And now you put that someplace and it becomes sugar. But now all this other shit that's left over, like, is there something you could do with this? Yes, there fucking is. So people would take this, and now you put it over there and you make rum out of it because there's still sugar in there. And the sugar is what the yeast eats, and it produces alcohol, which you distill, and now you got fucking, rum in this case. But so like Puerto Rican rum, this was like traditionally made out of this used shit, and you can kind of look at this from like where these Hebrews own these sugar plantations. Like, well, what else can we get into? So this is something where you see where there is a lot of Jewish involvement in the liquor industry. This is part of what it stems from. It's because they own these fucking things. So what else can I do with this shit that I have laying around? I can make booze out of it and sell that. So this is something they would do. So this is like your Bacardi. It's not quite as sweet, but it doesn't taste quite as strong. Yes? You've got other rums like this 10 Cane, and this was made from like the whole fucking to-do, like all the sugary sugar. So it tastes a little sweeter. It's like it's fucking tasty. What you don't want, okay, we'll do that now. Well, what you don't want is honestly, dude, like I can dig like if you like Captain Morgan and that's your cup of tea, if you simply must, go right ahead, I guess. But understand, man, like that shit, and I don't think they have, because it's not a food product, it's just fucking liquor. They don't have to say what they've put in it or what they've done to it. So your Captain Morgan, this has a ton of added sugar, added color, added flavor. It's not fucking genuine. It's rum drink. Yes, it's just fucking bullshit. It's fucking Fanta rum. It's not any good. It's Sunny Delight rum. Sunny Delight, 86 proof or whatever. So me, if you like it, whatever, you're like, yeah, it's fucking poison anyway. What's the fucking difference, man? I'll drink what I want. Okay, have it your way. But I want you to know. I want you to have the information. Make an informed choice where quality booze is concerned. In contrast, though, if you go and you look, there are some really decent fucking rums. So, for example, this 10 cane, I ain't sponsored by these fucks or nothing. It's just good shit. That's a really decent rum. If you look at, dude, again, like the colored flavored shit, no, man, just fucking no. So like Sailor Jerry, it's higher proof, it's tasty, but again, color and flavor. It's not genuine. I don't want this, so I don't do that shit. What else, dude? Like Kraken, again, I don't want to blaspheme here, if I remember right. There is added color and flavor to that shit too. There is some really good shit. There is a Venezuelan rum. And so this is where you get into like your aged rums, and you can get some aged rums anywhere between 3 and 7 years, and it's aged like same way as they age whiskey. It's aged in a cask, and it's fucking good, dude. Like you can make an old fashioned out of this shit. Like the same way you would make an old fashioned, you could do it with rum, except maybe instead of like orange, you could put like a lime in there, or a lime and a cherry or some shit. And it's real nice. Talking about like circling back then to this White Russian deal. I don't know what you call a White Russian made out of rum. Maybe like a white pirate or a white plantation owner. How's that grab you? White plantation owner? I like that. So, yeah, you can you do it the same way. But what's cool about this now is that if you've got like just a decent aged rum, it's not going to conflict with the flavor of the coffee liqueur or the cream. And the problem with usually rum drinks are like fruity. Yeah, like your Mai Tais and this kind of shit. So, you make that with aged rum, and it's like, it don't taste quite right, because these fruity tropical drinks usually, they're like made to be like candy. Like just like this is trash, like very sweet, very basic. And if you make it with an aged rum, it's like, this doesn't taste fucking right, dude. It fucking tastes wonky together. But if you put this decent aged rum with the coffee liqueur and the cream, it goes real nice. I highly recommend it. So with that, man, I think we can leave it there. We've covered just about everything: your social issues, your political shit, and a decent cocktail. So if you like this content, leave them shits somewhere people can find it, because we always say the world needs more people like us. And until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon, keep your neck out of the noose. I've been Coffee. These are my takes.